Happy Wednesday, everybody. So I've just come off a call with an absolutely lovely lawyer. I do a lot of work with lawyers and management consultants, very bright, successful people who are often struggling internally with things like burnout, how to develop boundaries, how to optimize work-life balance, and also how to unknot those brilliant analytical minds that can, have a downside. And one thing that I was reminded of, well, a couple of things. The first was one of the tricky things about law and consulting, I think, is what a management consulting client put as it's like a toxic relationship. You love the money and the ego and the status, but not necessarily the other things that come with it, like the intense workload, the intense pressure, the intense expectation, maybe the lack of praise, the lack of support, and just the lack of time for your personal life potentially. So one thing we discussed was this client actually struggles with anxiety. And one thing we discussed is that horrible reality that to be a brilliant lawyer basically thrives off, in a sense, disordered behaviors. So you're a bit obsessive compulsive. Excellent. Come on in. You'll probably be a brilliant lawyer who will spot risks and catastrophize about what could happen if you make one small mistake. Brilliant. You're someone who, fortune tells about what could happen if you make that one mistake, how bad things could be. Excellent. You're going to be really, probably quite anal. You're going to give huge added value to clients and be a really, really safe pair of hands. So that's the horrible paradox of things like law and consulting. Obsessive people who, in a way, are prone to disordered perfectionist thinking add the most value. And that's where the toxicity comes from. And that's just a reality that a lot of non-lawyers and non-management consultants don't necessarily get, but it's very real. The standard of excellence must be excellent. There's no room for just good. You've got to be kind of perfect. So to some extent, that's very hard to manage, of course. Something else we discussed on that discovery call was, again, that coaching can be a really effective alternative to therapy. So I'm a trained telephone counsellor. So hopefully with the right coach, you will get really good listening. So you'll be heard in terms of the way that a therapist should hear you. But as a coach, you don't keep clients sort of stuck and swimming around in that shit, if you like. You get them taking small steps forward. So coaching is a goal-orientated, future-focused process. So it's about movement forward and movement out of that pain and that stress. So there should be increasing levels of hope, reducing anxiety. And you'll be learning, if you work with someone who also does life coaching like me, you'll be learning mindset mastery tools as well as exploring how you can change your career or life. Okay, so you've got the tools to actually affect change that therapists might give you. Okay, as this lovely client said, it can be really freaking hard to find the right therapist. I've certainly found that in my life too. And I'm increasingly believing that coaching is a really good alternative unless you are truly stuck and you really do need that therapeutic support. So I just wanted to share those key learnings. They may really resonate with certainly the lawyers and consultants amongst you and those of you in really high pressure jobs who may be feeling really quite anxious daily and struggling, but feeling like this lovely client, I can't possibly show that because I've got to be perfect the whole damn time.